What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. Obviously, we don't do any shows over the weekend, but did have a bet. We had the last NBA game of the season, and ended with the win for me. I went with the under once again, 216.5. Easy as it can get right there. I mean, I'm just smiling the whole game. Just it's happy tequilas that time. The NBA season ended good. Ended at plus 101.58 units. So happy about that. Now we got to talk about some WNBA. But before we do, Vino, like I always say, it's great to be back with you. Um, Hopefully the weekend was good to you as well.
No, it was good in a different way, Skee. The Canadian Football League has gotten off to a really fast start, 5-3, or excuse me, 5-1, undefeated weekend this weekend, 3-0. I did have the Spurs on Saturday night, minus the points, and probably should have known better as they got the early lead. I tell you, one thing about that series is, in retrospect, Spurs first quarter, Knicks game, I think you go 5-0 almost, because Spurs won every first quarter and Knicks covered 4 of the 5 games. So that would have been a nice way to go. But the W, the reason why I'm looking here is really quick. I know I had a play in the W the other day. Did have the Minnesota Lynx team total over on Saturday. Great game against Las Vegas, 100-97. Olivia Miles, another good game out of her. So I think and then I had a play on the Indiana Connecticut game over. So I split W, didn't play anything yesterday, won in the CFL. So we're down to no NBA anymore. We'll just talk about W here on the show.
Yeah, I did also play the Sun on Saturday plus 10.5. So that was a nice winner to have as well. So a couple guys in the chat. Appreciate you guys. AOD and Geo both out there. Let's get started at the top. First game looks like Fire and Lynx opened up minus 14.5. I see 14 pretty much everywhere. Some 14.5 still out there. Total is coming down from 169 to 168.5. And for Minnesota, the same two. Fee and Uhas both out. For Portland, Winterburn, Samuelson, and Pooch. Game time decision. My first thought here, Vino, is Minnesota's off of a loss. Minnesota has been amazing so far this year. I can't fault them for losing to the Aces in a close game. They're at home. I mean, usually, Cheryl Reeve coach teams off of a loss at home is something you want to back. I always say that. But the great equalizer here is the 14.5. So maybe another way you want to look at it could be taking the Lynx in the first quarter. They have been really good in that regard. That's kind of how I'm feeling about this game. I think Lynx could win this one either way, whether it's just suffocate Portland defensively or just name their number offensively. So those are the ways I'm looking at this game. What do you think, Vino?
Yeah, lots of ways to look at it. Ski. Both teams off of travel with only 1 day of rest. Right? Portland beat Dallas without Paige Beckers on Saturday night, and now travel to Minnesota. And like you said, Minnesota in Las Vegas on Saturday, travel home here tonight against them. That game the other night was really Las Vegas got out to a huge lead. Minnesota fought all the way back, actually took a lead. I just wonder, and we'll talk about Las Vegas in a second too, if that game was draining on both of these. However, it is a Commissioner's Cup month, and these teams are now 5-0 and 4-1. So for Minnesota, you would think they want to continue winning here. And like you say, 14.5 becomes the equalizer. The thing I'm most impressed with on Minnesota's side is just the way that they score points. Like I say, I bet the over team total the other night was 86.5 against Las Vegas, and they got there pretty easily. They're tough to slow down. And Portland is so in and out as far as shooting goes. And there are nights when they look like, the worst or the second worst offensive team in the league. Minnesota does bring the D. I think if they're motivated, Ski, they could cover this number. But I'm not willing to take the chance. This might be one of those where let's just win and get out of here with a win. So maybe early is a good look. I didn't play this game because I had too many conflicting things in my head about it. But I just don't think I can get to Portland plus points because their ability to go into droughts and Minnesota's ability to score scares me a little bit that this game could separate really quickly. Minnesota's also been a really good second half team, or they've been a good first half team too. So I don't know how to differentiate this one.
Mark says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going with Olivia Miles, 17 and a
Yeah.
half points, 29 and a half PRA. Can't talk you off of that at all. And also says he leans Portland team total under. A couple of different ways to look at that game. Next, we'll talk about the Aces and the Wings. Opened up minus 2.5 for the Aces. Looks like 3.5. Total open 177.5. We'll call it that still right now. As far as the injuries, no Kennedy Carter, no Dana Evans for Las Vegas. For Dallas, Page is probable. Odyssey Sims has been ruled out. Um, these teams played a couple weeks ago. The Wings got the W, right? I believe it was like 95-87, something like that. And now Aces get a chance to bounce back. I know the Aces need to win one of the remaining two Commissioner Cup games to make it to the final. So they play the Wings tonight, and I think they play the Mercury in a couple days. This Wings team, off of a loss to the Fire, they have been playing well. This and that game, I don't think they had Paige Beckers. So not too surprising. She is a big part of this team. Now they get her back, and they've been playing good this season. I just can't help but think this number, as far as the spread, like they're starting to get some respect for Dallas because usually Aces versus Wings, you'd be seeing closer to 7.5 or getting closer to double digits. This is one where you kind of got to win the game, and Dallas has been playing good enough to win the game. Also, Aces have been shooting so lights out lately. At some point, they're gonna come back down to earth. Could that be tonight? Absolutely could. Um, Dallas has been not the greatest defensive team, but they've shown that they can play better defense than years past. On that note, Fino, I wanted to talk it out before I push the button on this game, but I'm really strongly considering the under. I mean, Aces just shot what 50% from three one of these past games, 44% from three. They got to come back down to earth. Can't be Chelsea Gray just hitting everything that comes out of her hand every single game. So combination of that and the Aces. I mean, you name the final score for that game versus the Lynx. What they give up 95, 97. I mean, Becky. She'll curse him out. Even after a win, she'll curse him out for such a defensive effort like that. And I heard her interview. She did mention, both her and Cheryl Reeve will probably focus on defense in the next game. I went back and I listened to because I remembered it. So I remembered to go back because we always listen to Becky. Becky talking about the last game versus the Wings. She was like, yeah, it's unacceptable. Second half, we give up 50 points. Not going to win any games like that. And they asked her another question. She's like, yeah, we usually rely on defense to get our offense going, but we weren't playing any. So I think this time around, when they see the Wings, there'll probably be a defensive emphasis. Even with both of the teams shooting 40% in that game, even with Becky saying the team is playing no defense, that game landed 182. I mean, a couple missed baskets, little defense played, under 178. Is that too much to ask, Rob?
Yeah, Las Vegas, they just go in and out of time periods where they play defense or they don't. The last three games for them, Skee, have been bad defensive efforts, right? 91 to Seattle, 89 to Portland, 97 to Minnesota. The last three games they've played, the final score totals have been 192, 194, 197. But like you say, eventually, head coach gets upset, team responds defensively. Dallas has played better defense this year as well, considering what they've been in the past. So the under, I don't think I could argue off of it. I do worry about Las Vegas, like I just said about Minnesota. That game Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, whichever it was pretty draining on both teams. It came down to the final buzzer. I even think Olivia Miles might have had a chance at the end to retie it or take the lead again. But That game, you play Minnesota, you only get a day. You got to go travel to Dallas. Paige Beckers is back. Dallas is also life or death in this West Commissioner's Cup. I mean, a lot has to go right for them to force a three-way tie, but it would start with winning here and then praying that Las Vegas and Minnesota lose one more after that. I took a different approach. I did play this game, but I played Dallas first half. I just wonder, partially about what you said with Las Vegas' shooting. I just wonder if they come out of the gates as hot as they've been. They had 50 points before you could blink the other night. And if some of these shots don't fall on the road here in this game, Dallas, obviously, they're going to, Las Vegas enters with a target on their chest. So Dallas is going to be highly motivated. Just feel like maybe they could take advantage of a team that, I don't want to say would be unfocused, but off the Minnesota win, maybe we don't get a full 100% right out of the gate from Las Vegas. Dallas was plus 1.5 for the first half. They get more shots at the basket. I think I said this last week. They lead the league in field goal attempts per game. They're just relentless at getting shots up. So I feel like I can get away with this one, Skee. First half, Dallas plus the 1.5. I think I'll probably be winning at halftime here. And then we'll see if Las Vegas responds second half. But to your point about total, I don't think I could argue off under if, in fact, the two things that you mentioned collide, Becky preaching defense and maybe Chelsea Gray not shooting 60-70% from three every game here tonight.
Yeah. So hear how Vino's looking at it. We kind of agree, as well as how I'm looking at the total. I'm pretty sure I should be involved in this game today. All right, Sparks and Valkyries opened up five and yeah, it says it opened up 5.5. I thought I saw a smaller number, like 4.5, but we're looking at 5.5 right now, or 5, depending on where you shop. Total is right around the opener of 173.5. Nobody on the injury report for either team. Sparks are coming off of an overtime game. I want to say Golden State even has more rest than the Sparks for this one too. So situationally, it should be Golden State. Golden State just hasn't been playing the best basketball to me lately. I feel like Golden State has started the season off shooting lights out. Since then, they've been ice cold. And, I guess the Sparks defense would be the defense you want to see if you want to get back on track offensively. But it's just, I haven't liked what I've seen from Golden State lately. And I think that the Sparks are the better team. I would take the Sparks plus the points, regardless of the situational spot for Golden State, and probably also expect this game to go over. I think, these are the two best over teams so far, both 9-4 to the over this season. Over or Sparks? What say you, Vino?
Yeah, I strongly considered over this morning, Skee. Last week, we were on here talking about Kelsey Plum in that interview post game about how we're the worst defensive rated team in WNBA history. We're going to play some defense. The one game they did, and since then it's been back to being Los Angeles defense. Gave up 102. I know it was overtime against Phoenix the other night. Clea Cooper had not played a really good offensive game until the other night. She had 41 against this team. Phoenix had not been good offensively, really. But that LA defensive effort against Portland might have just been a mirage, because they came back right after that against Seattle. I know I bet that game under 170. It hit 171. Los Angeles couldn't really stop Seattle's offense. And then, like I say, 102 to Phoenix. So I think it's safe to say LA is what they are. They're a really good offensive team. And Kelsey Plum, I'll say it again, she's playing at an MVP rate here. Now, a lot of people pushing Olivia Miles early, rightfully so. A lot of people pushing Asia early, rightfully so. But Kelsey Plum has to be in that discussion. Golden State probably scores. They love to shoot threes. LA doesn't really defend threes all that well or anything else. But they score on everybody. It's so hard to play a Los Angeles game under, because they score on everybody. They shot at a ridiculous rate the other night. Golden State's a better defense. I did see a quote from head coach Natalie Nakasi about Golden State. They still want to hang their hat on defense, and she was crediting Kia Stokes for defense, some other things. but I just don't know that you can stop LA. So for me, if I was going to play, I think I'd have to be on over in this game. I just, I don't know. I'm a little bit gun shy right now, but that's the way I would look.
Good stuff. That'll wrap up the WNBA card for today. So before we do get over to best bets, let's go ahead and toss up the usual buy three, get three free. If you would like to check out Rob Veno or myself, this is a good way to get involved. You can get 6 days of all of our picks for just $69. And yeah, things have been going very well, going smooth for us over here. So on that note, Vino, I'm gonna pass it back to you. If you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, all good. And if anything else you want to promo, feel free.
Um, Promos are good. I don't have anything there, but I will say this: only have one play today, so I won't leave a best bet. But again, like we say every day, we pretty much analyze these things to the core. So if you're watching the show, you probably know which direction I went. Um, but I'll reserve best bet here, Skee, only because I only have one play today, and I don't want to have the folks who paid for it already to have me giving it out for free.
Fair enough. I am going to use one today. Let me actually just make sure, open up that wallet right there. I don't like to give out stuff that is not actually in my pocket. And now I can say it's in my pocket. So we're going to go with the game I talked about most confidently. Aces and wings under 178 is the best number I see there right now. Like I said, shooting regression expected for this Aces after been shooting lights out for the past couple games, giving up 90 something points. Point of emphasis is going to be playing some defense, and the Wings off of a loss. I was expecting to play some defense too. These teams shot lights out. Like I said, last game versus each other, both over 40% from three. Game landed 182. With the coach saying that the team played absolutely no defense, 50 points they gave up in the second half. And honestly, I think I was on under in that game, and I was pissed at that 50 points they gave up in the second half. But tonight, we're going to do it the right way. Under 178, Aces Wings. That's my best bet for the show. All right, Vino, always appreciate you taking the time to cap these games with me. Helps my process. I'm sure we're helping some people out there as well. Chat, we appreciate all of you. A lot of good info and just good vibes. So I always want to let you know you're appreciated. We'll be back again tomorrow. So until then, best of luck on all your action.